Okay, it's time for us to dip into the Evocation Wizard. So this is my level 1 to 12 Evocation Wizard build with a battle tutorial and some items. So let's dip into it, and of course, level 1 starts with the Wizard. Now, the 3 cantrips we're going to use, and if you've seen any of my other Wizard guides, you'll know how this is. I call this the Deadly Trio: Firebolt, Shocking Grasp, Ray of Frost. Reason being is 3 different damage types and melee and ranged capabilities. I think all round, as damage dealing cantrip start, this is your best option. When it comes to spell slots, I would take Mage Armor. I think this is a must for any wizard. Long Strider, this is a ritual spell, so you can use this after long rest and throw it up and it won't burn any of your spell slots. Thunderwave, because I think it's one of the best spells in the game, especially in the early stages. This move itself won me the Draw Ragling fight on my first playthrough. Tasha's Hideous Laughter, because knocking a creature prone is always phenomenal. Shield, because I think Shield is amazing. Great way of protecting yourself, your HP, and your concentration spells. And Magic Missile, because Magic Missile, again, is a must-have in my opinion. It doesn't seem like a lot of damage. If you upcast it, it does more damage. But this is just such a amazing utility spell. Couple it with like Reverberation, or use on enemies that have Unkillable or Unstoppable. That means you have to hit them so many times before you get into the HP pool per round. Magic Missile is a must. For your ability points, we're going to have 8 Strength, 14 Dex, 16 Constitution, 16 Intelligence, 10 Wisdom, and 10 Charisma. And for proficiencies, take whatever you like. Now, Wizard level 2. This brings us to our Evocation subclass. You're known as an Evoker, striding unarmed through the unfiltering chaos you call. Learn evocation spells from scrolls, only cost you 25 gold per spell, not 50, which is our evocation summit. We also have sculpt spells. Create pockets of safety within your evocation spells. Allies automatically succeed their saving throws against these spells and take no damage from them, which means we are an AoE tank. We are just going to be throwing nukes as hard as we can. So of course, to start with, we're going to take Ice Knife, because this is a kind of an AoE attack. It does have a radius. We're also going to take Burning Hands, because I think this is just a great evocation damage dealing spell. Okay, Wizard level 3, and of course Hold Person. I think Hold Person is a must for any spellcaster. You land it, and any enemy that gets hit, if they are held, they automatically receive critical hits. This is just phenomenal. And we're going to couple this very nicely with Mirror Image. You create 3 illusionary duplicates of yourself. They each add 3 to your armor class, and if you are hit, one of the duplicates disappears and you take no damage. It's just amazing. Great way of protecting yourself and your concentration spells. Okay, Wizard level 4, we get another cantrip, so let's take Acid Splash. And 2 more spells, so we're going to take Knock, just so we have the opportunity to be able to unlock some chests. Not really essential, but I personally really like this spell. We're also going to take Scorching Ray, because again I think this is a great spell to have. We're going to take our ASI and we're going to take our Intelligence up to 18, which brings us to Wizard level 5. Now, Fireball. You know how it's going to be, especially as an Evocation Wizard. We can just drop nukes now and it's going to be amazing. So we're going to take that, and we're going to take Glyph of Warding. It does a similar thing, except it's a glyph and you choose a damage type, and I love this spell. Easily one of my favourites, and I'll show you why. Okay, Wizard level 6, and we're going to take Haste, because Haste can be very helpful. Nice way of just throwing it onto a fighter or something and getting them an insane amount of attacks per turn. And we're going to take Counterspell, because I don't think any spellcaster, especially a Wizard or Sorcerer, is complete without Counterspell. Okay, Wizard level 7, we have level 4 spell slots now. First one we're going to take is Ice Storm, because again, we can do these AoEs and we're not going to damage our partners now. Just amazing. We're also going to take Lightning Bolt. If we can couple this with some wetness, we will do mass damage. It's always worth taking, especially when we have things like Ice Storm and whatnot, because there is a chance enemies will become wet once the ice melts. Wizard level 8, now we get another ASI, but before that we have our spells. And for this, we have a few options. First up, I would take Phantasmal Killer. Haunt a creature with its worst nightmare. Takes 4 to 40 damage per turn. Cannot move, has disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls. It's a nice little psychic damage dealing attack. You might not want to use this over like a fireball or whatnot, but it's always nice to have this. The only downside is the concentration, which might not be ideal for you, especially if you want to do like a whole person, but at least it's there. And of course we're going to take Sleet Storm, just another nice way of having Ice Storm, but at a lower level. And of course our feat, SI up to 20. Wizard level 9, one of my favourite spells in the game, Cloud Kill. I love this, I think this is a must-have. You cannot go wrong with Cloud Kill, it's so good. And you can remove it on your turn, or sorry, on your next turn. So if enemies move out of it, you can reposition it. Really, really good. And we're going to couple this with Cone of Cold, really tapping into that cold damage we are doing. Okay, Wizard level 10, we have Empowered Evocation. Your Grasp of Evocation magic has tightened, and you add your intelligence and modifier to damage rolls with any evocation spells, which now means we get +5. Get one more cantrip, so let's take Poison Spray. And this brings us to our spell selection, and really here you can try and take whatever you want. I would suggest some lower level ones, so take like Melt's Acid Arrow and Misty Step. And that brings us very nicely to Wizard level 11, even more spells, and we will start with Chain Lightning, because I think this is incredible. We'll also couple this with Otto's Irresistible Dance, because I think any wizard has to take this spell. No spell save DC, it works on everyone like Orin, Gortash, Savarok, it just lands, and all they can do is stand there and dance, which means you can just chip away at them without them causing you any damage. If you want to take out big bosses easily, Otto's Irresistible Dance is the way to do it. And then finally, Wizard level 12, we have a feat, but before that, we have a bunch of stuff here. So we'll start with Circle of Death. Sculpt a massive sphere of entropic energy around a creature, devastate the target and all surrounding creatures. Nice AoE damage dealer. And we'll take Sunbeam, because it's a really nice way of doing radiant damage and blinding creatures in the path. Just please bear in mind you do have limited spell slots, but we will couple this with Warcaster. So, you gain advantage on saving throws to maintain concentration, which is good for our hold person and stuff like that. And we can now use Shocking Grasp as a reaction. And then your spell selection, couple it how you kind of want. I will take something akin to this. So we've got lots of AoEs, we've got our cantrips which do damage, and we've got some lower level ones to help us do some damage when we need to. We also have protective spells to help us hold, like to hold person, stuff like that. But we have those big nukes that we can just drop and annihilate people. Okay, so that was our build, so let's go over some equipment, and we start with the Robe of the Weave, a +1 bonus to spell save DC and spell attack rolls. If we succeed a saving throw against a spell, we gain 1 to 6 hit points, and a +2 to our armor class. We can couple this with the Evasive Shoes, which is a +1 to armor class and acrobatics, as well as the Braces of Defense, which gives us a +2 bonus to armor class, while we're not wearing armor or holding a shield, which we're not. We can also couple this with Mage Armor, and this will boost our AC from 17 all the way up to 20, which I'll show you. And we have the Cloak of the Weave. This is just a nice way of absorbing a little bit of elemental damage, and then using that elemental damage to do an additional 1d6 of that type on your next attack. So if someone hits you with fire, you add a 1d6 to your fireball, for example, on your next turn. We can couple this with the Spellcrux Amulet, where we can restore a spell slot, gives them access to another level 6 spell slot, for example. And then Markashir will do the same thing with its Arcane Battery ability. And all in all, we now have, I think it's 4 level 6 spell slots, it's either 3 or 4, coupled with these, because these will give us 1 free one each, and a huge AC to help us maintain concentration, as well as a cloak to buff us up with elemental damage once per short rest. So let's go drop some nukes on some enemies. Now of course we've just left camp, so first things first, we have to set up our Mage Armor. Level 1 spell slot, but we get +3 to our AC like you just saw there. Okay, we are in the fight, and as you can see, we are very high up the turn order. So let's start dropping some nukes immediately, and we'll start with a level 5 Fireball. Now we're going to cast it here. It's going to be, we're going to do it here. So you can see we've got Jaheira and our Rogue in the center. And there you go, you can see we took no damage thanks to being an Evocation Savant, and they took a load of damage. Now you can see they tried to hit us, we can shield ourselves up and take no damage. And that lasts the entire turn that you're being attacked. Okay, as you can see we've got a few enemies here, so once again let's come in here and let's do a Glyph of Warding, and we'll do Lightning this time. And like I said, we can throw this down. And there you go. Now bear in mind, that was a demonstration, as you can see, that did do damage to our companions. So just bear that in mind. But I wanted to show that off just so you don't do it in like a sticky situation and end up downing half your party. What's also really good, we can come in here with our spell slot restoration, and if you wanted to as a bonus action, you could restore one of your spell slots. For example, your level 6 one, we haven't used it yet, but we will. Now what we can do, for example, we can turn on our arcane battery. Now we get a free spell slot, and we could do one of our level 6 ones. So let's take Circle of Death, and we'll throw it here. Now you can see just how big that target area is, so you do have to really use this very carefully because we wiped out a bunch of health from our companions. But you'll see we did also do damage to nearly everyone else, and we wiped someone out. And as you can see down the bottom, we still have our level 6 spell slot available. Now once again we can continue dropping big spells, so let's do a spell slot restoration. We're going to show this off just because it's a bonus action. Let's do a level 5. And there you go. You see at the bottom we regain that. Now ideally you do want to save that for your level 6s, but the reason I did that is we're going to do Cloud Kill. We'll do it at level 5 and let's throw it up here. And there you go. Unfortunately one of them did save, but one of them didn't. And you can see just how much damage that does. Now it is concentration, so bear that in mind. And there you go, 24 damage again. And what's really good about Cloud Kill is we can reposition it. So we can come in here to this one, and we can just move it over. And there you go, as you can see, it didn't use our level 5 spell slot we had remaining, but we killed both enemies. So Cloud Kill is a really good AoE spell you can keep using to continuously damage enemies, and then constantly throw like Scorching Rays or whatever you need to do. And of course with your level 6 spell slots, my favourite spell in the game, Otto's Irresistible Dance. Let's get this on here. We're going to throw it into the Cloud Kill, which isn't ideal. Oh, we don't, we stand just outside, awesome. And there you go, we're now concentrating on this. And as I said, there's no saving throw, so this works on everyone, but we now have an enemy that can't do anything. And of course if you don't do autos, you could do a hold person. And there you go. And how this works is essentially any attack is now critical, so come in here with a sneak attack with your rogue. And there you go. And that is the Evocation Wizard. You can drop constant nukes on enemies, you can target those nukes without targeting your own allies, and all sorts. It is such a powerful and viable build, and one of the most fun and one of my favourite subclasses in D&D in general. So if you've enjoyed, please drop the episode a like, it helps me amazingly, and let me know what you would change in this build, any item, spells, whatnot. If you're new and you haven't subscribed yet, like to, that'd also be amazing, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.